Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. For this particular series, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, that darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are both going into the story completely new with almost no knowledge of the story or world. Each segment will cover what happens in each new chapter while discussing our experience along the way.
This is The Hero of Ages. It's all in the pages, a blind read-through. And today we are covering Chapter 51.
Chapter 51.
Hooray. Kitty, I didn't take notes this week. That's not entirely true. I mean, it basically is, but I didn't have a pen, so I couldn't write in the margins. But there were a lot of lines in this chapter that I felt had something interesting to say on, so I hope I remember all of them.
Me too. Now you're just doing it the way I do it, because I don't take notes these days. I just highlight or whatever, yeah.
But how was your week?
All good. I finished the audiobook of The Butcher and the Wren by Elena Eckhart. Yeah.
And?
It's her first novel, and it was good. I got really into it. It's my first murder sort of crime story that I've read in a long, long time.
Nice.
So, yeah. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading the sequels. I think I'm going to buy the paperbacks because, yeah, I just didn't really lean in too much to the performance of the audiobook guys. So, Yeah, I'll be reading from now on. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think I've said it on the podcast before, but I have the hardest time with audiobooks of books I have not physically read beforehand.
Mm-hmm. You prefer, yeah. I've got that with Wheel of Time. I've got all the audiobooks, obviously, after I read Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. But those are brilliant. Get those. Don't do the the modern one. No, do the Kate Reading one. Yeah.
I will do that. And I can even listen to the first one because I've read it now.
Yes. Yeah, same performers as you get with the audiobook for Words of Radiance.
Nice. And they've been pretty good so far, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm still traveling, so not much has changed on my ability to read beyond the Sanderson stuff, but I'm hoping to get back to it fairly soon. I have been feeling uniquely motivated to get back into Romance of the Three Kingdoms, so I might try and embrace that and find my copy of it. We'll see.
Do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get into the chapter, shall we?
Let's do it.
This epigraph opens with what I feel like the last several epigraphs have opened with, which is to say, Ruin was freed and his power grew. I'm like, okay, please give me something new then, by now. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Impaling people is difficult. Gee, you think? We do get that his tactic, his strategy, was to start with insane people who were probably more open to being controlled, and then move on to other people through them. And the moment I got tenuous grip on reality, my mind obviously goes to Zane.
Yeah.
So...
And Spook now, because Spook's also in a, he's in a drug-fueled way.
But does he have a tenuous grip on reality?
He has a completely different reality to what he had before, an unnatural reality, so maybe.
I don't
know. And it also doesn't it also speak of broken people? So it's like, it's another thing.
He's definitely a fragile boy.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with Vin.
That's true. Anyway, we do get the ominous line. It's impressive how many important people Ruin managed to spike. I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
Has Ruin spiked the Citizen? Makes me wonder.
That is possible.
Has he spiked Yeoman?
I don't think Yeoman. I do wonder about Set. Set was where my mind went to first, and I imagine he'd be reasonably easy to spike because of mobility issues.
And also just not being able to feel certain things, so yeah.
Yeah. So I am expecting there to be people on the good side, let's call it, who have been spiked that we are unaware of and will be revealed at exciting moments. I don't think Breeze. Maybe Ulrion? But I didn't consider her until just now, but I definitely think Breeze is ruin-free.
Yeah. We got to pay attention if there's subtle listening to something.
Yeah.
Things. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else could we run through? Teldin?
Demure.
Or Demure? What if it's Teldin? What if that's what's happening and how he's getting out? What if Ruin is rescuing her? And Yeoman knows nothing about this?
What, so you can use her again? Yeah. What if? That's the story. The story goes on. I don't know the implications.
Well, no, let's think about it. Elend is pretty dead set about attacking the city now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it with the mindset that Vin is being held captive. I could see this playing out as Elend's about to attack the city, and Yeoman has some sort of showdown with him atop the city wall where he shows her Vin and like, if you attack me, I'll do it. You know I will. I can beat you to her. In terms of the action, I won't say. Although I don't really have a reason not to. But no, if Teldin is working on Ruin's behalf, Elend attacks the city, demands Vin's freedom. They go down. She's not there. Yeoman's like, where is she? I don't know, I swear. And then I don't think Elend will make the dark decision of killing Yeoman in a fit of rage because Vin's missing. I don't think that would happen, but I feel like he'd be pretty darn tempted after this chapter.
Yeah, he'd be close. Yeah, he'd be very close. Yeah. And you probably would kill people surrounding him.
Yeah.
Which is bad enough.
Yeah. So so Teldin would then take Vin to the Inquisitors, if this is all on Ruin's behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the Inquisitors that will continually drug her and use it to threaten Elend, instead of Yeoman in the scenario I just imagined before.
Or make her a full Inquisitor. Because then they'll have a very powerful Inquisitor.
Oh, no. And there are enough Ska to do it in that room.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, no. No way. Although that does bring up an interesting question of, can she be made an Inquisitor if she's already been hemalurged with the ring? Or does becoming an Inquisitor have to happen in a certain specific order?
Yeah, it seems like something that might have to be in a specific order. But no, then again, it seems like as long as it's done in the right position, it's more about positioning, not timing. Yeah.
Sure. I'm nervous and want to know what happens. We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
The chapter starts with Elend flying through the mists, and we get a good couple of paragraphs about how Elend was never able to pick up the horseshoe trick that Vin developed in book 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's still that element of Vin being put on a pedestal by Elend. There is a part of me that wonders if she's able to do it because of the hemalurgy, but I do tend to fall ultimately on, well, Vin is just special and talented, and she developed the skill at a time of necessity in a way that I don't think Elend has had to for that skill.
Yeah, I think Vin has just a natural affinity with pushing and pulling, and just with allomancy in general. So it's like she is just better at it, at coordinating, and I think that's okay. Yeah,
I agree. That said, Elend, who is sticking to copper coins or clips to travel instead of the horseshoe trick, also considers that he is stronger than your average Mistborn. He's able to travel farther and therefore save more time.
Yeah. He doesn't necessarily have to do what Vin did. He can just jump really, really high and really, really far.
Yeah. He's burning off a lot of, I think, stress and energy in the sense that we get a paragraph about how good it feels for him to be moving. He feels free, which kind of sets the tone for what this specific chapter will be about, which is letting off that energy and stress by letting loose.
I liked the way that was done because, yes, he feels free when he's up in the air, and then he's up above everything, above the war, above all of this stuff, and just free of it. But then he has to come down afterwards. He has to land in the ash that is like waist deep and all of that. He just can't actually truly get away from it. It's still there when he comes down.
Yeah, mid-calf, and that's light for the area.
Yeah.
We also get the line, he never really had a chance to be a true Mistborn, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, he didn't go creeping around.
Yeah, well, Vin's better at that than he is anyway, so just let her do it. So there is almost a bit of Elend discovering who he is. In a way, that's not too emphasized in this chapter, I think, but it's him letting himself be Mistborn to the max.
Yeah.
We get him thinking, I can see why Vin would find this intoxicating. Does Vin still find this intoxicating? Because I think she fears the mist now, and we know that Elend is trusting the mist more and more, which I think is, again, connected to the Vin is ruin, Elend is preservation. Rather. Do you have a thought on that? Does she?
Certainly not as much as she did before, and she's just in a darker place. Maybe she did because of the way she feels towards the mists. She's maybe not leaning into feeling good when she is mistborning anymore. She's too focused on the perils around her, and yeah, I don't think she's enjoying it this much. But yeah, it was what she loved previously, and it's cool that Elend is experiencing. This was part of the allure that Zane had, is that he can do what I do. So Elend is now doing that, becoming more of her. So
sure,
yeah.
And so Elend hops up into the sky again, and then he's back down in the ash again, this time up to his waist. And it's very much a representation of what he's dealing with. He feels free every time he's up, and then he's back down in the muck. And we get the lines, he couldn't escape it. Vin was in danger, the Empire was collapsing, and his people were starving. It was his job to fix these things. That was the burden he'd taken upon himself when he'd become Emperor. I think that's really artistically done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think this is new information as far as what his perception of his role as Emperor is. Is that correct? Like, we already know it's...
Yeah, we know this. It's really, yeah.
Did you ever watch the anime Fate Zero?
No.
Back when I was into anime, it was in my top 3. I was very fond of it. The idea is something to the effect of there's a war for the Holy Grail in Tokyo. Wizards can find a historical artifact and use it to summon a champion, the owner of said historical artifact, to fight on the wizard's behalf for the Holy Grail. And 3 kings are summoned: Alexander the Great, Gilgamesh, and King Arthur.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend watching Fate Zero, Kitty, if you have the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's this great scene between these 3 kings. The whole discussion is to philosophize on what it means to be a king. And they each come at it from 3 different perspectives. So Arturia, King Arthur, takes the perspective that she has to lead for her people, which is essentially what Elend's position is, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh's is, everything belongs to me. The world is my playground. Get over it. And Alexander's is, a king has a duty to live larger and be grander than anyone else to inspire the people to be great.
Mm.
Oh, I haven't thought about that anime in so long.
Thanks, Elend. You brought it up.
Yeah. Elend continues on his way. he hopes that Sazed and Breeze are having a better time in Urtio. He does not give Spook a thought, Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. But he's genuinely worried about the situation in Fadrix. And we get the line, the Central Dominants would need the grain in the Urtio cache if they were going to plant enough food for the coming winter. I read that and thought to myself, Elend, I know you don't grasp the immediacy of the threat, but I don't think crops are your biggest concern at the moment.
No, he needs... Look, he knows the food caches are going to save people, but they do need to try with crops, at least.
Sure.
They are desperate. They've got to try. You know what? They need to keep some seeds and everything for, I don't know if the world changes back, but I don't know. Then again, they're so desperate they might not think that through then.
True. But whatever happens in the story, I think on a meta level, it's going to be done long before the next season or cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Seasonal cycle. We also get the line, he just had to count on his friends to be effective, and that is very much a re-emphasis of what we've been getting a lot with Vin counting on Elend on their discussion about how they can't speak to each other because Ruin hears them, so they have to trust each other. So that was not lost on me there. We also get that he doesn't want to try assassinating Yeoman because Yeoman has been too effective at fighting Elend that Elend doesn't think he'd have the best shot at success. Surely Yeoman has already figured out a way to one-up him if he tried.
He's already been outsmarted.
Yeah. Elend continues on. He's basically thinking that diplomacy time is done. It's time for force. Yeah, it seems, especially by the end of this chapter, that he's going to go the set route. And I don't know if this is a failure on Elend's part or a necessity. Because I do agree, it's kind of feeling like a necessity right now.
Yeah. I mean, even if he was going to go with diplomacy, he would need more leverage. He would need to be more of a threat. So he needs Kolos. He needs to be actually quite formidable, something that you would need to compromise with rather than fight. So either way, look, it does seem like he's just going to go really crazy. But at this point, yeah, just still the fact that he needs to be more of a threat, and that will help his position. But I think we're going to go all out war before he's done with diplomacy.
Right. And as he thinks, there's a timer on this, and war is tricky business, and sometimes fights have to happen, and it's not for lack of trying that diplomacy didn't work. And as that timer counts down, you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah. That's what scares Elend, which is like, I keep having to do these things that just because I have to. And that's my excuse all the time, is that I just have to do what needs doing. And it's not how I want to act, but I have to. And what does that say about me? And what kind of person am I now? And all of that. That's Elend's journey.
Right. So in Game of Thrones, I feel like the threat of the White Walkers is something that is meant to shine a light on how petty the squabbles of the politicians in King's Landing and the Seven Kingdoms can be. That when the threat of the end of humanity is nigh, you have to put all of that aside and band together against the darkness, right? And it's a very similar thing going on here. What you just said, which made me think of that, Kitty, was this idea of he has his hands tied at the moment, and it's kind of getting to the point where he feels like it is well past the point he feels like he has no other option. And so I thought to myself as you were speaking, something to the effect of, is not fighting an option? Like, could he just pack it up and go home? How would that serve stopping Ruin, right? Because I didn't bring up Game of Thrones for no reason, because with Game of Thrones, there's this sense of you all have to band together to fight the darkness. Whereas here, there's more of a sense of we have to consolidate our resources. So if they have to do that by any means necessary, fighting isn't necessarily off the table. I've spoken for a really long time to say what happens if Elend just gives up. And because I don't see that's
bad.
Right? There's no way that could work as a solution to stopping ruin.
No, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad. He's part of a very small group of people that are working against ruin.
Yeah.
At all. So, yeah, it's just not an option.
So how does Elend successfully band everyone together if ultimately that is the solution? Because if it's by force, that seems a little bit like a hollow victory to me. Like, yeah, if Stannis were able to conquer the Seven Kingdoms, they might have an easier time fighting the White Walkers, but that feels like it undercuts what I think Gurm's messaging is, which is that fighting is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I think there is the subtle thing of fighting. Yes, fighting is stupid. Fighting for nothing is stupid. You know, fighting for the sake of fighting for the sake of power is stupid. But if you're fighting to gain control so that everyone's together, so that we can all survive, that's still something. It's a moral conundrum. It's a very morally grey place, but the end, I suppose, justifies the means in this context. So that is the struggle that Elend has to go through as a ruler, is like, what are my limits here? My heart is in the right place. How far can I go before this is completely against my heart? When the stakes are so high,
right,
there is so much you can do without it being as horrific as it would be just doing it for no purpose.
Sure. So is virtue enough to stop the darkness?
Well, I don't think so with ruin.
I agree.
Yeah, it's got to be something else.
So he feels that he needs to act. He's approaching the town that's being attacked by the Kolos that he's heading to. He passes through curling mists. There are homes burning, scared people, and many, many hulking Kolos beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this whole fight scene, there are a couple of really cool visual moments that are both badass and funny, like this very first one. The Kolos wasn't that much heavier than Elend, so it was pulled up into the air by one arm as Elend was yanked downward. Elend pulled against a door hinge as he fell, edging himself to one side of the confused flying Kolos. He sprayed it with coins as he passed.
That is funny. Yeah, it's great.
Right? The idea of a confused Kolos just zipping away.
Yeah, I'm going past him.
It's as funny, if not funnier, than the moment in the first book with Vin. Remember the sorry friend outing?
Yeah.
But that passage continues. Beast and weapon spun in the air. Elend landed in the street before a huddled group of Ska. The flying Kolos' weapon hit the ashen earth, point first, next to him. The Kolos itself dropped dead on the other side of the street. That sounds very so cool. Badass.
Yeah, very badass. Sword on the point next to him, and then he picks up the sword, and it's a huge sword that you shouldn't be able to lift.
Yeah. Elend reflects on how different they are than the people they must have been, and he presumes that this is what happened to the people that opposed the Lord Ruler during his reign.
Yeah, and that's not what Elend's doing yet. You know what? Yeah, surrender is a thing. You could do that.
Yep. It's an option, but it's like, how do you survive that? Are you the folks on the Titanic who just hang out in your room holding your loved ones as the ship goes down? Or are you fighting to get onto a lifeboat?
No, in this case, the lifeboats are all sitting ready for you, because Elend is very happy for you to accept your surrender if you all do it. So it's not about fighting to get on a lifeboat.
Fair.
That's the thing. Like Elend is not there for the blood, at the moment. So if he got surrender, he would be satisfied with it. He wouldn't be like Sadius or something that he needs to go and just have a huge fight.
Right.
Elend isn't bloodthirsty in the fact that if somebody surrendered, if they all surrendered and he got the city, it's not like he would go in there and slaughter them to punish them.
True. That said, we do get a couple passages about how inhuman these things are, and he feels no remorse about killing them, even though they used to be innocent.
Oh, they used to be. That's the thing, they used to be. That's the point.
Yeah.
Everyone used to be innocent.
Yep. We get the lines, the creatures that remained would propagate themselves by using other humans unless they were stopped or unless they were controlled. That feels deceptively important, but I'm not quite sure what to do with it on a literary level. Elend keeps fighting these guys. It's a small village, some 30,000 in number. And this is very much the Vin taking out Set's keep in the second book. He's just like going at it and at it and at it and releasing all of that pent up anger. He's mad at these Kolos for harming his people. How many subjects claimed by Elend, even if they didn't know, had he lost to the Kolos? How many had he failed to protect already? Which is more virtuous Elend.
Mm-hmm. And he's taking out his anger on them. So this whole fight is actually cathartic for him, essentially. He's having these thoughts while he's killing them. And he did compare it to Vin. He did think, oh, how did Vin do this? Well, look, he's doing something similar, even though, yeah, these are Kolos, it's kind of different, but it's just the act of just constant killing, one after the other, just next. That is another, connection we've had. Oh, Vin in the mists. This is intoxicating. Oh, look what I'm doing now. I'm killing like Vin kills. So that seems to also run through this chapter of like Elend doing Vin things.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And do you think this is a good outlet? Do you think it's fair?
Fair? I mean, he has to do it. It's an okay outlet. It's not pretty, but then it's good practice because he's going to fight again. He's going to need to fight again.
Sure.
Yeah. It's again the circumstances. There's no other way.
Sure.
I'd rather have him take it out on literal enemies than on people around him.
Right. And Elend doesn't consider the Kolos his subjects, pretty much just the humans. So there's an element of that that's interesting to contemplate.
Mm-hmm. Through all of this as well, I'm going, okay, how many are you killing, Elend? You really can't kill that many. I understand that he needs to scare them. That's why because he does try a little bit with the emotional elements to try and to get control of them. And he does think there might be an inquisitor that's in control of them as well. But yeah, his excuse in the back of his mind, I suppose, is I'm killing to scare them into submission or to make them more malleable to manipulation. But yeah, he's a bit frenzied. He goes a bit over the top.
Sure.
I think he kills way more than he needs to, and I don't know how many he's going to be taking home with him.
Sure. And there is a point where he's fighting one that's more than twice his size, or about twice his size.
Very cool.
It's so cool. Mini boss. We get the lines, Elend stood his ground, matching strength with a monster twice his height. The Kolos halted, dumbfounded. Stronger than I should be, Elend thought, twisting and cutting the surprised creature's arm free. Why can't that strength protect the people I rule? That line, stronger than I should be, was excellent in the sense that I feel like it has a double meaning. One, that's what the Kolos is thinking then and there. This small thing is stronger than it should be. He's big on the inside. And then there's the element of Elend is stronger than he should be as a Mistborn. He's unusually strong.
Yeah.
Which is what it goes on to suggest he's thinking.
Yeah.
So I thought that was neat.
No, you can see that. And he's having he is working through these feelings and this frustration of just why, yes, look how amazing I am here. But even this that I'm doing right now is not saving the world. Like, I can't just fight these Kolos and everything works. So I can feel his frustration.
Yeah. And then in the next passage on Vin, he thinks she'd called everything he did short term, but what more could he do? He was no slayer of gods, no divine hero of prophecy. He was no more than a man. And I feel like that's trying to invoke Jesus, who's just a man. Was that his thing? Like, I know, I know Son of God and all of that, don't get me wrong, but I think, did he not preach that he was preach that or something?
Not just a man. It's just that he is made man. So it's God made man, as in he's come into. There is that emphasis on he is stepped down and into the vessel of a human being, and he was human and had all the human feelings, but he was sinless. So as much I understand what you mean. The just a man thing is that yes, he was man, human. He became human, took on the flesh, all of that. So I can see what you mean.
Cool. And it seemed that these days, ordinary men, even allomancers, weren't worth much. I feel like that's some sort of clue as to how they actually are gonna fix this. I think I've put out the theory that everyone's gonna do the people of Earth, lend me your energy kind of thing and push on ruin and preservation.
Mm-hmm. All the snapped by the mists, all those people are gonna do something.
Yeah. So I feel as if with all of this emphasis in this chapter of Elend feeling like he has to fight and all of this talk that we've had about what can he do that isn't fighting, I feel like there's going to be some sort of solution that only ordinary men are capable of doing. Or seemingly ordinary men.
They'll play a part, definitely.
Yeah. He's fighting. He cannot bring any of them under his control with the soothing, which he thinks means there's an inquisitor controlling them. And these bodies are piling up. He's still doing his angry, letting off steam type thing. And every time he kills a monster, two more replace it. He's reflecting on the futility of it all. And at this point, I'm kind of nervous at the mention of an inquisitor. Like, where is it?
Yeah. No, I was also very scared of that. I'm like, why? Also, where is he? Like, when is he coming? Because clearly we've got this idea that they are under an inquisitor's control. And then once he's taken control, does an inquisitor come after him to take them back?
Yeah, that's the concern. So I'll say that obviously by the end of the chapter, no inquisitor ever actually shows up. So I have a theory, but do you think there's an inquisitor there?
Maybe the inquisitor's there to spike him subtly.
Well, we did have an epigraph about spiking important people.
Mm-hmm. But it speaks about Penrod. And I mean, like, if Elend did get spiked, I think that would be the one that you speak about in that paragraph.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about the most important, we're talking about important people. How's about the Emperor?
Sure. Unless it's Elend writing the thing, which I still think it's Sazed. He blunt forces a bunch of coins through a Kolos to kill it and rescue some folks. It's hard to do, but he forces it, and I can just imagine visually the scream as he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not up for subtlety. He's really brute forcing his way through it, and he's just screaming into himself that he should be able to protect them. They're still resisting his allomancy. The Inquisitor is not showing up yet. There's more of Elend fighting. And he finds it soothing. He doesn't have to think about right or wrong. He can just simply fight.
Yeah, there's a simplicity to battle. It's like enemy is identified, continue.
Yeah.
Face the hordes, go, one after the other. Yeah.
The citizens in the town are starting to rally around him. And we get some passages about how Elend kind of finally understands why Vin did what she did to Set in Book 2, which I think is neat.
Mm-hmm.
The Inquisitor still doesn't appear. Elend burns Duralumin and soothes everyone, all of the Kolos, and the village falls silent. Yay! He won!
He He did what he needed to do, but now he needs to get back without being followed by an Inquisitor.
Right. So even after all of this, the Inquisitor still doesn't show up, or an Inquisitor still doesn't show up. So there are two options, as far as I can tell. One option is the Inquisitor is there watching. Ruin wants Ellen to take the Kolos. Perhaps he wants Ellen to take the Kolos and get Vin out of the cache. So that's a possibility. The other possibility is there is an Inquisitor there who wasn't ready to join the fight yet. And then when Elend did his Duralumin Soothe, he also got the Inquisitor.
That would be cool.
Wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, do I trust it or do I not? I'd be hesitant to trust it.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, the only good Inquisitor is Vin.
Yeah. He's wary because the Inquisitor's absence sets him on edge. As he's looking over the amount of dead bodies, we get the line, a part of him, quiescent now but still aflame, was sorry that the time for killing had ended. Poor guy. What a thing to say poor guy about.
He had the thrill.
Yeah, so it would seem. It's okay, they're Kolos. Killing machines. They're the enemy. We get the exchange. You're him, aren't you? An elderly man asked. Who? The Lord Ruler, the man whispered, to which he responds, close enough. So, whoa.
Yeah.
They think he's the Lord Ruler?
Yeah, they think he's the Lord Ruler because there's ignorance and they don't know about the Emperor. They also maybe, even if they do know about the Emperor, they don't know that he's Mistborn and they just haven't seen anything like this before.
Sure.
So they'll associate it with the Lord Ruler. And it's obviously it serves to, like, he doesn't even correct them. He's like, I might as well be, because he's just doing all of these nasty things and he knows he's got to do more of them. He's going to be doing Lord Ruler-ish things.
Sure.
So it's a pretty epic line.
Yeah, and we kind of glossed over it, but earlier on in the chapter we had they become Kolos to make his army, the creatures had great strength and fortitude and could subsist on the barest of sustenance, yet making men, even your enemies, into monsters such as this, we briefly spoke about it, but we didn't really address the comparison to the Lord Ruler of it. I feel like that was present in this chapter, but in less emphasis, so I don't I don't really know what to say about it, though.
It would be that he's not. We're looking at Elend's actions and saying, okay, is this as bad as the Lord Ruler? And he laid out in that passage about creating Kolos out of the people who disobeyed him. That's not what Elend's doing. Okay, he at least doesn't want to create monsters, and he still sees them as monsters. So that also justifies what he's doing. Well, justifies it. It makes sense for him that these are monsters. They're no longer human. There's no turning them back into humans. Yeah. So it just brings in the theme of comparing again Elend to the Lord Ruler, and then it finishes off with a pretty bow of Elend saying he might as well be the Lord Ruler because he doesn't feel good. He knows he's got to do some horrible stuff.
Yeah. In fact, the last line of the chapter is, the time for killing hasn't ended at all. It has just begun. It's on.
Yeah. Yeah, Elend is going hard, and we can't really blame him. But don't worry, we'll judge him when he goes too far.
Yeah, and I think we're close-ish to wrapping up the book in the sense that there's a small chunk we have left before we start getting into all of the blind blinds. So I think things are going to pick up quite hastily, judging from that.
Well, we've got another part. We haven't gotten to part 5 yet.
Yeah, and our next blind is 58.
Yeah.
Whew.
Look out for that.
Yeah. Good chapter. I appreciate the symmetry of it between him and Vin from the last book. Anything else to say?
Like the video.
If you like, you don't even have to fly into a Kolos killing rampage to do it. Just putting that out there.
The time for liking the video is now. It has just begun.
Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to That Darn Kite if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel.
Subscribe to this channel, because you know it's great.
It would be greatly appreciated. And we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, thanks, bye.